check.
Bring it on in. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
I want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rekakwadash.
double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the occupied and pushing the word of sincerity and in truth. Yeah, you can see the title of the lesson, Power is going to come to those who wait. And it's not talking about everybody, all right? It's talking about those that wait and that remain in the spirit of Yahweh Shemau Shai, because this is a work. This is work and this is a race, but also it's a race of patience. The word patience means to suffer, which in the book of, if I'm not mistaken, 2 Peter, the first chapter, that's one of the fruits of the spirit. And accumulating these spiritual fruits, which it speaks about. Matter of fact, can you get that in 2 Peter, the first chapter?
Yeah.
I want to just get
temperance.
Yeah, because adding to those fruits of the spirit is like compound. You have something known as compound interest within the business markets, and the spirit. The spirit compounds, man. That's why the apostle Peter spoke of such, and Yahweh Shai himself spoke of the same. All the prophets and the priests, the king, they echoed the same sentiment dealing in terms of the spirit, which is they always spoke about faith, but highlighting Yahweh Shai in particular, he spoke about faith of a mustard seed. So that inkling of faith, and we all know a mustard seed is not that big, all right? It's one of the smallest seeds, if I'm not mistaken, but it has a pretty significant yield or growth from that very minute seed. So it's the same thing as far as faith. That's why the Lord likened faith unto a mustard seed, because if you have that level of faith, the Lord can work with you, all right? And you keep that faith and build upon that faith, then what that equals is power, man.
This is 2 Peter chapter 1, and I'll start at verse 4. It says, "Whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that by these ye might be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust."
Yeah, the divine nature is this word first and foremost, and it said it's escaping the corruption of the world through lust. Yeah, because that's all that's in the world any damn way. But it said the lust of the flesh, 1 John 2 and 15, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. Which you pride yourself off of what? Your desires, certain things that you retain in this lifetime, which you lust after and you receive. And it's all corrupt, man. Corrupt riches. The money that we use, all these different things that you retain on the side. It's either inherently corrupt, or it can be corrupted. All right, and that's a fact. Name one thing that in this world that's around you that can't be corrupted. See, so staying in the spirit, that's incorruptible. That's why the Lord spoke about. And Paul spoke about an incorruptible crown. You see, which is the spiritual crown, because even crowns can corrupt. Actual physical crowns on the side, they can age and rust, things of that nature. You have to do certain things to maintain it, So when it's talking about an incorruptible crown, it's talking about really this word, really the kingdom.
Yeah.
You got it.
Verse 5. "And besides this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge."
Yeah, your faith is your belief. Add to your belief virtue. To virtue what?
And to virtue knowledge.
And to virtue knowledge. Keep going.
It says, "And to knowledge temperance."
To knowledge temperance, which is balance. Keep going.
It says, "And to temperance patience."
And to temperance, when you balance things out, you work that work of patience also. You see, that's why we titled the lesson as such. Power is going to come to those who wait, because the Lord will add, and amplify you in the spirit, if you just hold on, as it is written in the book of Job, if I'm not mistaken, Job 17 and 9. I'm gonna read that real fast and I'm gonna jump back because I want to highlight a point. Yep, Job 17:9. The righteous also shall hold on his way, and he that hath clean hands shall be stronger and stronger. Right. And what does it say? That he that toucheth pitch shall be defiled therewith. So when you keep your hands out of the corruption, as it is written, of this world, keeping yourself clean and building upon that, like it says, cleanliness is next to godliness, spiritual cleanliness.
Yeah.
You build on that and hold on. When you hold on to something, that's
Cleaving.
That's a form of cleaving on. You see, it said you're going to become stronger, which the word stronger in the Hebrew is kazak. It's not talking about physical strength. It's talking about spiritual, stronger and stronger. But it is going to translate to spiritual power and the physical.
Yeah.
You got it.
And
we not to cut you off, Salakia. And we've got examples, man. This is a book of records. All right. And the Most High gave us free access to read these records to build upon our faith. That's why I started off with that. Read throughout the scriptures. You read about King David and the spiritual acts that he did. You read about Noah. You read about Moses, Daniel, Yahushua first and foremost, of course, the 12, Elijah, the mighty men, Joshua. Like we were speaking about earlier, that's why the scripture says the praise of famous men. These men did some remarkable works that the world couldn't even fathom in these times, man. And that's why a majority of people look at this book like it's fictitious, and they don't actually look at it as actual records. But us brothers in the faith and that believe in Yahweh Shema Shah, we know, trust, and understand that these are like the scriptures speak about the Lord's word being faithful and true. You see?
Yep.
And he spoke about men that stay down, when they get lifted up in due season, they're going to be able to do greater works to him, as it is written.
That's right.
And I'll get that precept for that. So, but you got it.
And it says, and to temperance, patience, and to patience, godliness. Like how you mentioned, cleanliness is next to godliness. And it says, and to godliness, brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness, charity.
Okay, and that's even important in itself. Scriptures even speak about the altar. Don't go to the altar, roughly paraphrasing, unless you made things right with your brethren. The Lord's not going to give power to Jake that's holding on to grudges with his neighbor, man, his spiritual neighbor, or his neighbor is his brother of the foe of that kindred. Really, the ones that's in the faith, man. All right. And when the Lord does give us power, through the Spirit, Lord willing, with those men, we're gonna be able to know how to use that power too. Because 2/3, as it is written, have to be cut off and die, man. So even in the same notion, you got to know how to, where to put your, the pockets of spirit into. You see, this ain't because the scriptures speak about cursed is he that holdeth his sword back from blood too.
Yeah.
When the Lord give us that level of power, we gonna use it. And we're gonna know, it ain't like, the decision is gonna be ours, like brother had a power, like, I don't know if I want. Nah, the Lord's gonna, like I said at camp the other night, or the other day, the Lord gonna put that bright burn spirit.
Really, see, I was just thinking about the movie. Yeah.
Gonna start tweaking us, fine tuning our mind. That's why I spoke about, which I'm gonna get that precept too, about how the least of them shall be like David. Some brothers be squeamish in the spirit, can't see blood, or they'll see entrails or something like that on a TV show they watch, fucking Thriller, Halloween or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Damn, they're finna run to the bathroom and that. But the Lord gonna take that whole spirit off, man.
Yeah.
The Lord gonna put like I said, a fucking T-1000 Terminator spirit on us, to clean up shop, man. This world is dirty and filthy, and the Lord is gonna use His men to clean it up. You got it.
It says,
Finish out with that.
For if these things be in you and abound, they make you that ye shall neither be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach.
Yeah, that's really the main point. Yeah, because the next verse says, "He that lacketh these things, blind and cannot see far off." So it's about just staying within that stay within those footsteps. Because this is a man that had spiritual power. And he's telling us, all right, this is the Apostle Peter. You read the book of Acts. I ain't even mentioned the book of Acts.
Right.
You know, there's so many books, of course, but with the Acts of the Apostles, you see how they was putting it down. And even Paul, which I ain't mentioned him either as far as the men, I said something about him before, but even Paul's spiritual acts, you read about what Paul did, James, John, you know, Peter, you know, all these different, you know, all these men, 12, they was performing all kinds of spiritual acts. You had a situation with Eutychus. Eutychus fell from the top floor, you know, he died. But through the Most High's grace and the Spirit dealing with Paul, Paul was able to, you know, recharge him back up, man. You know, actually resurrect him. You see, that's spiritual power. You had certain people that was sick unto death.
Yeah.
You know, and they didn't have, you know, the cures for. That's why it speaks about palsy. It speaks about certain individuals cursed with devils. Yep. Lames, lepers. You know, and they were cursed with devils, man. But the Most High, you know, through the Spirit, you know, dealing with those men, you know, like Yahushua literally stripped the demons out of certain individuals, you know. And sometimes you would put the spirit, so like with the swine, you put the spirit in those swine flesh, and they fell off the cliff, the herd of pigs. You see? And these are records, because what it says, everything that's written aforetime was written for our life. Romans 15:4. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a pre Kabbalah? I got something too.
This is Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength.
Woo.
They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint.
You got it.
Yeah, so when you're going through that process of becoming the elect, being tried as to go in the fire, through that patience, which is suffering, because we're trying to do right within the wicked world that's going through the straight gate. We're going to inherit these things at the end of the help when all hell breaks loose. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7, Jacob's trouble. And when those times come, it's going to be automatically singing that the Lord's dealing with us, because we're going to have an escape route. A lot of people ain't going to have another escape route.
No, that's the standard.
Yeah, that's it.
Which I get that. You know, the Lord spoke about I think is the next chapter.
Chapter 41.
41, I think. 22. I might be mistaken, but the Lord spoke about a standard. I'm gonna get it.
Isaiah 50.
Oh, it's Isaiah 59. It's a lot.
59.
Okay, 59 and 19.
Yeah.
You got it. Okay.
It's Isaiah 59 and 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come in like a flood.
Who's the enemy? So-called white man. All right. Esau, Edom, and the other nations. Psalm the 8th, 3rd chapter. You see? So when it says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, come in where? To these different cities, these different states, barricading, locking down, issuing these different curfews and stuff like that. That's what martial law is. And then it speaks about that in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, around the 70th verse, about how they're going to start to invade these different houses, these big boy battle rams. They might just have a whole goddamn robot dog running to your shit, man, with that big ass cannon on his back, man. With nigga, with anti-nigga fucking robotics built in them, man.
Yeah. At least Esau got this stuff.
He got it.
So don't be fooled thinking that he won't use it.
The movie Elysium, Matt Damon.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They had those dogs on there too.
Yeah.
But that other dude he was a hitman out for the people that was in the wealthiest part of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
They got it on Black Mirror.
Black Mirror. So how will we be able to fight against these different things? Through the standard. can read that.
God. And it says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him.
It says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. You know how aggressive flood waters is? Flood water destroys. You look at a flood or a mudslide and see if you see somebody actually casually swimming like it's a goddamn, like you're on a beach or something.
Right.
Or like you're just in a 6 foot pool. You don't see that.
You don't.
So when it says that the enemy coming in like a flood, the Lord's lifting up a standard, that has to be spiritual power. Because that's an aggressive way that the enemy is going to come in droves, like the scriptures speak about, all coming to, with violence, coming in the spirit of violence. And if these devils come in with violence, they come in with frequencies. They, like I said before, those Boston Dynamic DARPA dog, Boston Dynamic dogs, all these different, these exoskeletons, all these different robotics, because they do a lot of things to those men in the military too.
Yeah.
MK Ultra, they do a lot of stuff to keep the minds of the and they've done certain trials to try to inject military men with certain chemicals to try to make them damn near superhuman.
They had that on Black Mirror as well. You had the military guy who they basically turned into like a wolf or something like that.
Yeah, they had that. Yeah, I remember that.
But it just shows you that Esau, he used his military people as lab rats as well, man. Because they like how you said, they got the MK Ultra. They make them take away everything they knew, and they basically like a robot, man.
Yeah, how can we beat robots unless it's by spiritual power? Spiritual power, you got it.
That was it on that.
Okay, I got a precept. Yeah, it's in John 14:12. Verily, verily, I say unto you, which is surely, surely, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. And whatsoever ye shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. You see?
Yeah.
So, and I want to actually get that all the miracles. You got to put Jesus on Google. Whatever Yahweh Shai. When you go through his list of miracles he performed, I think it said, which we went into that even at camp, spoke about how all the acts wasn't even written and couldn't even be written in the book.
Yeah, it tells you.
John chapter 21.
Yeah. John 21.
Then
I got that scripture.
I got a quick. Wow, there's too many right here. I'm gonna read these real fast. I'm gonna throw it to you to get your precept. But I just wanted to add because the Yahweh Shah said they're gonna do greater works. This is under Wikipedia under the Gallery of Miracles. I'm just gonna read them. These are cures, right? Not treatments. It wasn't like they, he touched them and they were straightened out for 2 or 3 days and they got back sick. No, they was cured for the rest of their life, man. So, healing the mother of Peter's wife, which Yahweh Shah did. Healing the deaf mute of the Decapolis. Healing the blind at birth. Healing the paralytic at Bethsaida. Yeah, certain individuals they were paralyzed, blind, deaf. What else we got? The blind man of Bethsaida, the blind man Bartimaeus in Jericho, healing the centurion servant. Yahweh Shah's healing an infirm woman that had that sickness of blood. Yeah. She couldn't stop bleeding from her crotch, so to speak. She had a constant period, man. And she was jacked up because losing, blood constantly like that, that shit can, it could be damaging. It's a lot of minerals in your blood, iron, things of that nature. Iron levels was probably low.
It was unnecessary for her to bleed like that.
Oh yeah, it was
size of period.
Yeah, it was a sickness, But through the spirit and power of the Lord, he was able to cure these individuals. The man with the withered hand, Yep. Cleansing a leper, cleansing 10 lepers. Lord said we're gonna do greater works than that.
Come on, man.
Healing a man with dropsy. And if I'm not mistaken, let me get that word dropsy. I forget exactly what dropsy is, but dropsy, the swelling of soft tissue due to the accumulation of excess water. Yeah.
Like when people have those like swollen ankles.
Yes, sir. They might have like gout.
Yeah, like gout. Yeah. 'Cause even if I could say it real quick, the scriptures say, humble thyself before the Most High, He'll exalt thee in due time. You know, all these people that Yahweh Shai, you know, was healing, they were humble. Even going to the Roman centurion, you know, for him to even come to Yahweh Shai and ask him of healing shows him that he was humble.
Because the word, that's where you get the word humiliate. A lot of them in that Roman system, you know, these Israelites, they felt humiliated from the sicknesses that they actually had, man. They probably got picked on, laughed at, scoffed at, you know, got pushed out from the communities.
Yeah.
You know, and it even spoke about how you know a lot of those houses had stenches, you know, because of the sickness, you know. But the Lord, you know, was working with them, purging those demons out of them. All right, healing the bleeding woman. Wait, so that said the bleeding woman. The other one said the infirm. The infirm, I think, just is sick, so that might not have been speaking about her. But continuing on. Healing the paralytic at Capernaum, healing in Gennesaret, 2 blind men, and they got another section with the power of a demon. You know, I'm gonna read a little bit on that. They're quick. A boy possessed by a demon. You know, the Canaanite woman's daughter, the garrison's demonic. At the synagogue in Capernaum, Yahweh Shai exercising at sunset. Exorcism of Gerasene, the maniac, exercising a mute. And these are the resurrections from the dead. Young men from Nain, daughter of Jairus, raising of Lazarus. You got the control of nature, the marriage of Cana, which was turning the water into wine. Yahweh Shai walking on water.
Yahweh Shai was going in.
Yahweh Shai was going in.
Did all this within 3 years, man.
Yo,
3
that
years.
was conquering Rome right there.
It was shaking the whole system up.
Yeah. That's why that fame that Yahweh Shai gave was deeper and heavier than what people think it was.
3 years
Yeah.
of pure works. Every day he was working. You know, that's why I speak about working while it was day. And he said, I was ever with you in the synagogues. You know, he said, I was with you daily in the daily. Oh, Yahweh Shai was taking breaks, man. Like, I'm tired, man. And it was even speaking about how the virtue sometimes left him. You know, the woman that touched him, the virtue left him. You know, Lord was, you know, I need to take a break, man. Lord was clocking, you know. But continue on. The walking on water, we are familiar with. Calming the storm, the transfiguration, which to calm a storm, that's power, man.
Yeah, showing you that we got power over Satan.
I would say, because it was a spirit that was in that storm. It was the actual name of that spirit that was on that storm. Man. Continuing on, transfiguration, feeding the multitude, drought of fishes. Okay, cursing the fig tree. That was a miracle too. And coin in the fish's mouth. Yeah. So that was really the main point of it. You know, of the different accounts. You know, and those should be aspiring, man. That's our Lord and Savior, the ones that we're worshiping and trying to walk in faith, you know, and walk in that same footsteps. You know, so the Lord spoke about those that wait on him going to be able to have access to that same power. You know, it says, "This honor have ye saints." You know, so we just got to keep on pushing, man.
Yeah, the saints shall take the kingdom.
The saints shall take the kingdom.
This is 1 John chapter 3, verse 1. Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it kneweth him not. Beloved, now are we, so that's through our patience, because we're saying that this invisible King what we call our Father, he actually exists, and the prophecies that he spoke about through his men are actually real. We know through the Spirit, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
And then part of that, we're going to get a reward. Verse 2, Beloved, now we the sons of God, and it doeth not yet appear what we should be, but we know that when he should appear, we should be like him, for we should see him as he is.
What's that word? He is. That's basically like Yahweh. You know, he is, he to be. You know, he's present, he exists. You know, so we're gonna see him as he is. We're gonna say, oh, that's gonna be the greatest told you so. You know, and part of the Lord's story is he spoke about certain men having power, man. Sharp teeth, sharp instruments having teeth. You know, he said, "Behold, I make you like a weapon." You know, basically instruments of cruelty, man. And not only is it gonna be, we're gonna have power to destroy, we're gonna have power to rebuild. The scriptures speak about the tabernacles of David being rebuilt. There's a lot of people in our nation that are jacked up. You know, because everybody in the nation ain't gonna have spiritual power initially. You know, in the kingdom of heaven, we're gonna all have power. But the Lord is, you know, he's basically funneling the spirit like how it was back then. You know, a few people had the spirit, and the spirit started to work with other individuals that was, you know, in that fold. The disciples changed, because the disciples didn't really initially have spiritual power. They had spiritual power when they became apostles. All right, you read throughout the Gospels, Peter was getting up on a level. You know, don't get mistaken. There was a few glimpses where you start to see, like Peter started to walk on water slightly. Then his faith, you know. But in the book of Acts, when they became apostles, you know, when the actual spirit started to really, that's when the spirit started to heavily deal with those men.
Yeah, just his shadow alone heal people.
Mm-hmm. Yep, this shadow alone. You got it.
And,
We'll get a few more. Go ahead and close out.
and every man that hath this hope in him purify himself, even as he is pure. So we're going to be like Yahweh, while Yahweh shall when they come back. In the twinkling of an eye, 1 Corinthians chapter 15 goes into us changing into that incorruptible man, which is the immortal bodies that we're going to have. We're going to be changed in the twinkling of an eye. We're going to gain that spiritual power that we've been toiling for.
Man, that's worth more than silver and gold, man. You know, because as men, we always think about the blessings. You think about riches. You think about the women. What's above riches and the women? Really, spiritual power. The scriptures speak about health in a good estate is above fine gold. You know, when you live for infinity, because shit, you know, riches and women, all that shit gonna come with the territory of, you know, immortality.
Yeah.
No, that's the shit. You know how he would love to. Oh, my husband, he could live forever.
Right.
You know.
Seek ye the kingdom first, and all these shall be added unto you.
Seek ye the kingdom first, and all these things shall be added unto you. You know, and that's even a reliever too, because you got to think, if you immortal and you're perfect, your body's perfect, you ain't gonna have that shadow over your head of, damn, man, my organs might shut down, or, you know, I might get sick, you know, I might catch cancer from eating this, or, you know, eating too much of this or doing too much of that. I might get, you know, because sickness is all over the goddamn place, man. You know, but when, you know, the Lord actually gives us those new bodies, really all that shit is gonna be erased. You know, that's what we're fighting for. Some more on that.
Okay. It says, that's it.
That's the main point. You got something?
Hey, I got a real quick one. It's Psalms 110:3. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth.
You can bring it up.
You know, so it says thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, man. So many believers, you know, will come, you know, just off the power that Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah puts within certain men. You know, people will start believing, man, just like they did with Yahweh Shah. Okay? And that shows you that the Lord is going to put spiritual powers on men, just as he did before, like the deacon was speaking about when King David and the mighty men, You know, you had Daniel in the lion's den. You know, the 3 holy children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and many other stories that's written in the scriptures, man. The Maccabean brothers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and these things are going to take place, man.
They're gonna take place.
Yeah.
Because if not, then the house of Israel gonna be consumed, man.
Mm-hmm.
How are we gonna be able to actually overcome the power of the beast
Right.
with 7 heads and 10 horns?
Right.
You know,
The beast.
Leviathan. Hey, Esau's known as Leviathan. The Isaiah 27 chapter.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken. It might be Isaiah. Check that real fast. The one in Leviathan. See if that's that's it. I can type it in as a quick search, but I wonder.
It's
Yeah,
Isaiah
throughout history,
27.
the Lord always send that help at the last end, like at the end of the Maccabees era.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord came in after the Grecians dominated us. Then Rome, then they morphed into Rome. So the Lord came back on the scene and really did away with all our sins.
Yeah.
And now, you know, he conquered all the kingdoms.
Mm-hmm. He conquered death and he beat death.
And you about to do it this time.
So he got the keys to life and death in the book of Revelation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's godly access. The Lord has access to really give that power to men.
Yeah.
You see, but it has to be a certain time. It's all the Most High is the master of time. He ain't gonna just give you spiritual power just because. You know, no, it's gonna be a certain time. Like you said, patience. You got something?
Yeah, quick one. Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 8.
Go ahead.
It says, "In that day shall the Lord Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as the Most High, as the angel of the Lord Yahweh before them."
Oh yeah. So it said the feeble among them. What's something that's feeble? Another word for feeble is weak. You know, sometimes you know brothers don't go to the gym. Some brothers, like I said, sickly and jacked up. He said the feeble among them gonna be like David. David ripped the lion in half in his youth.
Mm-hmm.
Slew Goliath. Went to war with the damn near giants, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think even one of his men slew Goliath's brother, and they said this mother effer had like 6. What do you had? Like 6 fingers on each hand. I think he had like an extra toes and shit. It was like a hybrid. Hey, that show you know what they show you that on? 300 with Leonidas.
Yeah,
When he
Leonidas.
fought that beast with the chain.
Cut his head off.
Yeah, cut his head off. You know, but that dude on 300 ain't compared to Goliath's brother, man. The lion-like men of Moab. You know, which they had even at 300, the immortals, where they were like magicians. You know, they had the magi shit going on.
Yeah.
You know, which they had that even back in the ancient times too, because those immortals were actually, that's real records. You can look on Wikipedia. That was an actual faction of individuals that was a part. They had their own little military. And I think there was kind of like a sub-military under the Greek, or if I'm not mistaken, the Persian Empire. You know, I might be I don't know which one they were actually in. But
I think it was the Persian.
Yeah, I think it was the Persian. Yeah. But yeah, that was a actual military men. And shit, back in the ancient world too, they had a lot of witches in those wars too.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so-called individuals that practice
sleight of hand.
Yeah, slight enchantments and stuff like that. You know, and they show you that it's a pretty good show. Yasuke, whatever the black Japanese guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's fighting against those military. You know, but that's how it was, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the Lord, through His power, working with those men, they were still able to overcome. That's what it's about, and it's the same thing now. We just have to believe and continue in that belief. We'll close
Because the Lord don't deal with numbers; He deal with His power.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring out a precept for that, and then we'll
Gideon. Okay.
Oh, what you about to say?
Not like He did with Gideon.
The story you get in.
Yeah, judges they had spiritual powers.
Samson.
Samson.
You can't forget about Samson.
Can't forget about Samson, which is his Hebrew word is like the sun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was strapped down and took his eyeballs out. You know, and he actually tore the pillars apart, man.
Mm-hmm.
Samson did a lot of crazy acts. They said he lit up the foxes and then he which that wasn't really spiritual power, but he used them to actually like little missiles and whatnot.
They set them on fire.
Set them on fire, and they shot towards and destroyed. I forget what it destroyed, but it's a lot of bad accounts, man. That's why it's good.
Slew 1,000 men with jawbone
of an ass. You had Abishai, Benaiah, Joab when he was right.
The riddle with
Joab
the
started.
lion that he slayed.
Joab started to slip a little bit.
The riddle with the lion that he slayed.
Oh
About
yeah,
the honey and
yeah,
stuff
with
like
the
that.
honey. Yeah. So hey, the records are there, and that's why you got to be excited when you read these words. It ain't no just fairy tale something just to make you feel good, after you working a 9 to 5 from the man.
Right.
It's faith boosters, and understand that with that faith, we're going to be able to move mountains as it is written, which represents the governments of this devil. This is 1 Maccabees 3:19. For the victory of battle standeth not in the multitude of a host, but strength cometh from heaven. That's the story of Gideon. Oh, you had the 300. When it started to get cut down, the men that was basically being cut, to fight that war. He said started to get lower and lower because the Lord he said he don't want a multitude of men. He said because they're gonna start to think that it's because of their power that they took down the enemy. So he was like, no, I'm about to cut. I'm gonna trim the fat, man. They had the men that lapped at the water. It was a few things that they had to do, and then I think it remained. I think it was like a little bit over 300, like 318. I may be mistaken. I haven't went through that record in a little minute. I'm through the spirit. I'm gonna go through it again though.
318.
Yeah, I think it was around that number. But with the men that was left, now the Lord like, okay, well I'm gonna get. I can work with that. So it's the same thing now. It ain't a lot of us. The scriptures speak about a small sanctuary, and he ain't gonna take this devil down by equal size military, equal size resources. He called us worms. But these same worms are going to be the ones that the Lord is going to raise up to have power to even take, to slay the beast.
Strangers of our salvation.
Strangers of our salvation is it. We'll close with what you got on.
Okay. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 30. How should one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock has sold them and the Lord has shut them up? Like these superhero movies, like it says in Revelations chapter 13, those that lead into captivity should go into captivity. Here is the faith of the saints. So when we get into our rest, we're going to have a two-edged sword in our hand, which is spiritual power. Esau got power with his sword. His sword that he got, his blessing. They would say they that live by the sword shall die by the sword. Because we are likened unto a sword too. The word sword in the Hebrew, if I'm not mistaken, is Zion. We that battle axe.
We that battle axe. Hey, the spirit might have it where. Hey, that's why the scripture say meditate upon terror too. You might break into one of these high-end museums like this guy from Black Panther. What was his name? Killmonger.
Killmonger.
Might break in like Killmonger. He got them big ass medieval swords. Might have a brother got that big ass sword, big as hell. 500-pound sword and shit.
Perfect with
Thor hammer.
Like Hancock or something, but you just automatically
like
glued
Hancock.
to it. Like you got the Lucy Wits. Like she just knew everything.
Yeah,
she was whooping niggas' ass, but it's gonna be men, the flock of the Lord, is gonna have this actual power.
Yeah, we're gonna be like Neo, Lucy, Hancock, all them in one through the spirit. But we gotta believe. Scriptures speak about believing the things that I say. So that was the end of that.
Yeah.
So hopefully brothers were edified. Just wanted to put that out in the spirit. Gonna end it by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, Akim.
Shalom.